Why did you depart Cleveland to go to Miami and join forces with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade to get one? Why did you depart from there to go back to Cleveland?
Stephen A. Smith has reignited his war of words with LeBron James, this time over a heated debate that strikes at the heart of NBA legacy. Do rings really matter? After LeBron's recent comments suggesting that championships shouldn't define greatness, Smith couldn't stay silent. Their already tense relationship just escalated, and it's sparking backlash across the league. This feud didn't start yesterday. It's been building ever since a courtside confrontation between LeBron and Stephen A. earlier in the season. LeBron, upset over Smith's comments about his son Bronny, approached him during a Lakers game in what many assumed was an attempt to settle things privately. But instead of closure, it became a new chapter in a growing rift between the player and the pundit. That tension boiled over when LeBron appeared on a podcast with Steve Nash and dismissed the idea that rings are a requirement for all-time greatness. He mentioned players like Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, and Nash himself as legends who never won it all, but still deserve to be in the conversation. LeBron's exact words were, like, okay, you weren't a great player if you never won a championship, or if you've won one, then you can't be in the same conversation as this person. I don't know, man. You sit here and tell me that AI, Barkley, and Steve weren't unbelievable? That they don't deserve to be talked about just because someone else won more rings? That quote set off a firestorm. Stephen A. Smith, never one to bite his tongue, responded in classic fashion. During his latest ESPN segment, he called out LeBron's inconsistency. According to Smith, if rings don't matter, why did LeBron form super teams, switch franchises, and chase better rosters his entire career? Smith even said, if LeBron didn't care about rings, why'd he bolt to Miami when things got tough in Cleveland? Why did he make his way back to the Cavs and then the Lakers? Every move was about putting himself in the best position to win it all. So now rings don't matter. Come on.
Because LeBron only went back to Cleveland for one reason: to resurrect his reputation and his stature.
Stephen A. wasn't alone in calling LeBron out. Other analysts and former players echoed his confusion. Cowherd joked, "You think LeBron went to Miami for the beaches?" A sarcastic jab implying that every career decision James has made revolved around winning. And let's be honest, LeBron's resume is built on dominance, not loyalty. 4 rings, yes, but also 3 different franchises and a finals record that pales compared to Jordan's 6-0 or even Kobe's 5 rings with one team. It's hard to ignore the contradiction in LeBron's logic. To Smith, it's not just about the quote, it's about LeBron trying to shift the goalposts.
If it didn't mean much or shouldn't mean much, well then, why were you so relieved to finally have one?
He believes that James is rewriting the definition of greatness to better fit his legacy, and that, Smith claims, is dishonest. He pointed to the Cleveland years, the Miami super team, and the Hollywood move to LA as evidence that rings absolutely have mattered to LeBron, despite what he says now. That brings us back to the Bronny James saga. LeBron was furious over how Smith spoke about his son's NBA potential, but Smith says that anger was just a distraction tactic. LeBron used Bronny as a shield, Smith said. This wasn't about the kid, it was about LeBron not liking what I said about him. Smith continued, "We don't like each other. That's the truth. I respect his greatness. I'll praise him when he plays great, but I'm not going to pretend when he says something ridiculous. And this, rings not mattering? That's ridiculous." Of course, the internet had its own take. Some fans agreed with LeBron, saying basketball should be about more than just rings. Others sided with Smith, blasting James for trying to downplay the very standard he spent 2 decades chasing. It didn't help that Smith brought up Robert Horry, yes, the role player with 7 championship rings, as a counter-argument. If rings don't matter, then Horry shouldn't rank above Barkley or Iverson. But if they do matter, then LeBron's 4 might not be enough to surpass MJ. And that's the core of this entire debate.
So in other words, he understood it in departing for Cleveland to go to Miami. He understood it in departing from Miami to go back to Cleveland. He understood it when he arrived in Tinseltown with the Lakers, that stars, superstars who wore the purple and gold, he couldn't be the one person that didn't capture a championship. He had to get at least one.
When you measure greatness in the NBA, what counts most? Talent, longevity, statistics, or jewelry? For LeBron, the answer seems to be changing, and that's what's frustrating his critics. Smith isn't buying the narrative shift, neither is Cowherd, neither are legions of NBA fans who remember the decision, the Heatleys, the return to Cleveland, and the push in LA. They remember the speeches about chasing Jordan, about catching Kobe, about being the greatest ever. If that was the goal, then rings had to matter. So now, when James says otherwise, it feels like a pivot, a carefully timed one, designed to control the conversation as his window narrows.
I don't understand where it came from. I don't know where it started. I hope that we have to appreciate more of what guys have been able to accomplish, what guys have been able to do. A ring is a team accomplishment.
Right.
And if you happen to have a moment where you're able to share that with your team, that should be discussed. This team was the greatest team, okay? Or that team.
In other sports, like the NFL, titles do define legacies. No one's comparing Dan Marino to Tom Brady. As good as Marino was, he never won the big one, and that's what sets Brady apart. Smith made that analogy too, doubling down on the point that LeBron can't expect to be placed above Jordan without owning more titles. Still, fans are split. Some admire LeBron's career regardless of rings. Others see Smith's take as the hard truth. What do you think? Is LeBron right that greatness can exist without championships? Or is Smith right that those comments are just damage control? Let us know in the comments. And while you're here, check out the video on screen for more breakdowns from around the league.